I found myself in a car park, and so I was able to observe 2 minutes silence. It's not possible for everybody to do it. There were trains going past. You can't stop trains, I know. And there were people shopping who weren't quite aware that it was 11 o'clock. The country didn't stand still in the way that it used to stand still. I don't know whether that's significant. Free call 0500 10 53 89. I can't make up my mind whether that means that we care less than we used to about those who made the ultimate sacrifice, so that we are free in this country. Free call at 0500 10 53 89. What I do know is that we do have free speech in this country, don't we? We are able to say what we want, when we want, with whom we want. Free call 0500 10 53 89. We are able to discuss what we wish to discuss with regard to the way we want to live our lives, our hopes and our dreams, whether they are political or personal. We're not pressurized into thinking and saying things that we don't actually believe, are we? For we're free in this country. We have free speech, don't we? Free call 0500 10 53 89. You've never been denied access to either the airwaves or to journals. If you want to express an important point, if you want to alert the nation or your neighbourhood to something which is going on, which they ought to know about, because it is an absolute disgrace, whether it's the council or an individual or a political party or a particular policy, free call 0500 10 53 89. We are free. And above all, we in Great Britain have freedom of speech. We even agree, do we not, that we will permit somebody to say something which we find reprehensible, because at least it means that we are living in a country which has free speech. What is that thing about I do not agree with a word that you are saying, but I will defend to the death your right to say it? That is free speech, and that's what we have in Britain, don't we? Compared to all the other naughty countries who can't get this one right, we have, haven't we? Haven't we? Free call 0500 10 53 89. If it is free, if our speech is free, if we do have the freedom to say whatever we want to say, well, it's one of the few things that are free in this world, and one wonders how long it will be before one Chancellor of the Exchequer or another gets round to wondering whether it ought to be entirely free, because it was hard-earned, wasn't it? Very hard-earned, this privilege. If we accept that free speech exists, one wonders whether, since it was so hard-earned, some revenue somehow could be generated for some of our needy institutions such as health and education by simply taxing speech. Why not? Free call 0500 10 53 89. We all know somebody who talks all the time about football, don't we? Don't you think he ought to pay a licence to talk about football? Don't you think he'd be prepared to shell out £7.50 for his annual talking about football licence? Free call 0500 10 53 89. Then there's that person you know is always on about the Spice Girls, whether it's because he thinks they're wonderful or he thinks they're awful. He does go on about it a bit, doesn't he? He wouldn't mind, actually, listening to it if you knew that he was contributing to that hospital down the road. You wouldn't mind at all if he had to shut up about it because he hadn't got his Spice Girls licence. That's one way of doing it. Free call 0500 10 53 89. Come on, let's get our thinking caps on here. Health and education and plenty of other institutions need revenue. And people talk. By Yiminy, don't they talk? Is there not some way that we can generate some cash for needy causes by taxing people who talk, by taxing people who need to make speeches? Free call 0500 10 53 89. Think about it. Maybe free speech is a big fuss about nothing. You are allowed to say what you want in this country, but when have you ever said anything, you yourself, when have you ever said anything that would have had you arrested if we'd been one of the Soviet bloc? When would the KGB have ever come round to you because of anything you wrote to the papers about or found yourself wittering about in the pub? How radical are you? And why is that? Because we've all got a bit lazy and complacent, isn't it? Shouldn't we all have the powers that be knocking on our door 3 times a week at 2 o'clock in the morning? Because what we've said is contrary to the way the authorities want us to think and speak. Free call 0500 10 53 89. We're talking about free speech. We have free speech in this country. About time people were made to pay for it. I'm Tommy Boyd. This is Talk Radio. There's a good argument for listening.
Talk to Tommy Boyds. Free call 0500 10 53 89. 0500 10 53 89.
David calls from Essex. You're on Talk Radio. Hello, David.
Hello there.
Hello, boy.
Right, well, you sort of chucked in a bit of a bargain bunch there. You started off with Armistice Day, and then we got onto free speech and taxing it. I want to say about Armistice Day. I was sitting in Burger King having a cup of coffee this morning, when all of a sudden, all the people in Basildon Town Centre, they just all stopped. And I thought, well, this is crazy. And then I realised what it was, and I kind of felt good about that. You know, I mean, after what happened with Diana and I've been living out of the country for quite some years and getting really patriotic for it. And
you think I drift?
Well, let me get it out. So, what I'm saying is, like, this showed that people can get together. So, moving on to free speech, do we really have free speech?
Yes.
Do we?
Yes.
There are so many people telling us, Tommy, there are so many people telling us, oh, of course we have free speech, but don't say anything about these people, and don't say anything about those people, and oh, that's not very humane, is it? Shouldn't we all be able to say what we want to say, regardless of who it is?
You can.
We can we?
Yeah, you can.
So, if I was to make some kind of a racist remark or a sexist remark, or an ageist remark, would I be free to do so?
Yeah, I just think you're a racist or a sexist, so?
Exactly.
What do you mean, exactly?
But that's a stigma, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So we're all
but you've earned it, haven't you?
Stigmatism, aren't we?
No, but it's a stigma, but you've earned it.
Okay, so we have to be nice to everybody, even when we don't want to be, because we're frightened of stigmas.
If you want to be frightened of the stigma of being called a sexist, then don't make sexist remarks, but you're free to make them if you want to. Nobody's going to...
That's the freedom that we have, is that everybody is controlled by...
Nobody's going to put you in prison. Nobody's going to put you in prison for making sexist remarks.
No, they're not.
Right?
Or are they?
No.
I mean, racism is becoming a very strong point on the government's list, isn't it?
With everybody's list.
If you made a blatantly racist remark...
I wouldn't do that.
You wouldn't do it?
No.
No, but were you to?
Well, I'm not going to, am I?
Wouldn't you be reprimanded quite heavily?
No.
No?
No.
Wouldn't there be some kind of government body? Wouldn't there be some kind of backlash? Isn't the regulating bodies for radio, aren't they going to be on your back?
You haven't got a clue what freedom of speech means, have you?
Of course I do.
What does it mean?
The freedom of speech is...
It's not a freedom to be unpleasant.
No, it's not a freedom to be unpleasant, but...
Well, racism's unpleasant.
Yes.
Yes?
It is unpleasant, and so is sexism, and we should all be accepting of each other.
Yeah, what do you think freedom of speech refers to, then?
Freedom of speech goes across the board.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, of course, you can't be selective.
Well, it is.
You can only be free in your speech.
It depends on whether you understand the concept. No, it depends on whether you understand the concept or not. Freedom of speech doesn't relate to being unpleasant about minority groups.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No. It isn't necessarily unpleasant, but it can be. Because the truth can sometimes hurt.
It relates
and that works on a political and...
No, you see, you're a complete waste. Because you don't understand what freedom of speech is. You're just browned off because you can't make remarks about people you don't like in public because you think that some legislation
I'm not browned
exists.
Off at all. I'm using that as a pertinent example.
It's not pertinent. It's irrelevant. Freedom of speech does not relate to being nasty about people.
So what about when it's politicians?
It relates to the expression of higher ideals.
Do you not exercise your right to be nasty at times?
It's got nothing to do with freedom of speech.
So what is freedom of speech then?
Freedom of speech is about...
That is the right to speak up against government.
The expression of higher ideals.
Higher ideals?
Yes. Spiritual and political ideals. Ideals. What's idealistic about being unkind about somebody because they're a member of the opposite sex? Where's the idealism in that?
Where's the idealism in it not? Is that ideal?
Say again?
Because...
Say again, I'm not with you.
Where's the idealism in not being able to express were you to feel that way?
Well, you could make a point, but I don't think you know what it is. You see, if you recognise that, for example, suppose you, who seems to want to be able to be racist if you choose to be, is that what you're saying?
I was using that as an example. I mean, it is...
But no, I'm talking about you. Would you like to be able to say racist things, but can't because you think you might get arrested?
On occasion, I think they're...
Right, that's fine. So you'd like to say racist things? Mm-hmm. All right. The truth of the matter is, if you said a racist thing to... I mean, you're white, are you?
Yes.
Or black?
Yes.
I don't know.
I'm white.
Okay, so you'd like to say racist things about some black people?
I did include sexism and ageism in there.
Well, okay, whatever. Right. Don't change the subject. You'd like to be free to be racist if you, on an occasion, chose to be, and make a racist remark.
Right.
Okay. The fact of the matter is, the recipient of your racism is free to pay no attention to it if they wanted to. Right? And if they were able to recognise that your racism doesn't amount to anything so long as it's verbal, then I wouldn't have a problem with you expressing racist views.
You wouldn't?
No.
But you are not in the majority, Tommy.
No.
And you wouldn't be in a job if you were.
No.
So...
That's right.
Do we have the freedom to say, or are we inhibited? Okay, freedom... You're talking about political freedom, higher ideals and things like that.
Yes, that's what freedom of speech is all about.
I think freedom of
people didn't listen to me.
Isn't it?
People didn't go to war in 1939 so that you could be unkind about women just because it makes you feel better.
No.
No, you know that.
No.
What did they go to war for in 1939, mate?
So that we weren't repressed by a fascist dictatorship that we could feel looming on the doorstep.
This is a higher ideal, isn't it?
Indeed.
You got it. Next.
An education from Tommy.
How about that?
Right.
I won't invoice you, it's free. That's free too.
Toodaloo, mate.
Toodaloo. Free call 0500 10 53 89. Tracy calls from London. You're on Talk Radio, Tracy. Good afternoon.
Hello, Tommy.
Tracy.
Hi. I'd like to talk about racism.
Okay.
Right. I suppose I'm going to get down forward on here, but I hate all these foreigners living in our country. I think the government is traitors to our country. The black people and all the foreigners shouldn't be in our country. They're taking over all of our shops.
Oh, great. Hold on. That's great. Let's have some... all right, shut up. Shut up. Let's have some free speech, shall we? Anybody wants to argue with Tracy, say what you like, then give us a call now. Clear a couple of lines, Phil. 0500 10 53 89. And you can have an argument with somebody about it, Tracy. That's free speech, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
Isn't
fine.
that great?
Fine.
Fantastic. Because a lot of black people died, you know, so that you could say that.
Sorry?
I said a lot of black people died fighting so that you'd have the right to be able to say what you just said.
I don't care about black people. They shouldn't be in our country.
No,
they should.
But you wouldn't be able to say it if they hadn't stood up alongside a lot of other people in the Second World War.
Well, I don't know. I suppose not.
Well, no, I suppose not. It's a fact, isn't it, really? Oh, here we are. Good, excellent. We've got Kenny to have a word with you. Kenny, you're on Talk Radio. Hello, Kenny. Are you there, Kenny?
Hello.
Hello, Kenny. Yeah, you wanted a word with Tracy.
Yeah.
Good. Let's let both of you exercise your free speech since it's November the 11th. Where you go. Kenny, you go first. You heard what Tracy had to say.
Yeah, I don't like white people anyway. So it doesn't matter, Tracy, what you say.
Well, are you in England?
Yes, I'm in England and I'm black.
You shouldn't be in England.
Why shouldn't I be in England? Why shouldn't I be in England?
Because you're not English.
I am English.
No, you're not.
I am.
You are not English.
What am I then? What am I?
Well,
what would you call me then?
What country are your grandparents from, or your parents?
They're from Jamaica.
Right, well that's Jamaican then. You're not English.
I wasn't born in Jamaica, I was born here.
Well, that doesn't make you English.
What does it make me then, Jamaican?
If I put a horse in a pigsty, it doesn't make the horse a pig, does it?
You're more stupid than you sound.
Oh, no. I don't agree with all you blacks.
So you don't like black Indians, whatever?
I mean, you come into England, a ready-made country.
I was born in England. I didn't come to England. I was born in England.
Ready-made for you. All the shops are ready there for you. You must think it's a heaven. All food in the shop. Oh, yuppie, you know, get food, get money from the Social Security.
So what? Do you think we all get money off Social Security?
Well, majority of you do, yeah.
How do you know it's a majority of us?
Because it's statistics, isn't it?
Statistics and more damn statistics and lies. If you was to let me ask you a question. If you could get rid of all the black people in this country, what other race would you go after next?
I wouldn't just get rid of all the blacks. I'd get rid of every single foreigner to whatever country their grandparents was born in. I'd throw them all on a ship and ship them off to their own country. But then there'd be more houses for the English people. There'd be more shops for. I mean, Pakistanis own half the shops more than English people.
They
in
work
this
hard,
country.
Pakistanis. Black people work hard.
Let them work hard in their own countries.
All right,
They're
honey.
working hard here.
If I could just have a word here, chaps. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Tracy.
Hi.
Hello, Kenny.
Hello, Tommy.
Whilst I was listening to you guys exchange your intellects, I couldn't help thinking of those columns of men in olive green making their way down to the water's edge in 1944 to go and assault Hitler's France, and most of them lose their lives there for a higher purpose. And what you both have to remember is that the purpose was that you could talk this kind of foul rubbish and we'd let you, because we live in a free country.
Yeah.
All this hatred and suspicion and shallow unkindness.
It's those sort of people like Tracy. You don't know who they are when you see them on the street. They laugh and talk to you, but deep down they hate you because of the colour of your skin.
But she's allowed to do it, Kenny.
Yeah, obviously she's allowed to do it. But I bet she wouldn't do that in front of a black person or Asian person on the street. She wouldn't go up to them and say, "Oh, I don't like you in my country."
Actually, yes, I have done that before.
Now, Tracy, will you stay with us? Because one or two other people would like a quick word with you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Enjoying the spirit of your conversation. Free call 0500 10 53 89. This is Talk Radio. There's a good argument for listening.
And get this on 11:07 a.m. The conversation of the nation. 10:53, 10:89 a.m. This is Talk Radio.
Celebrating free speech on November the 11th. And what better way of celebrating free speech, really, than to allow somebody to say something that they wouldn't have been allowed to say if they'd been brought up in 9/10 of the other countries on Earth. And that's Tracy. You there, Tracy?
Yes, I'm still here.
Stephanie wanted a word with you. Stephanie calls from Surrey. Stephanie, you're on Talk Radio. You're through to Tracy.
Hello, Tommy. Hello, Tracy.
Hiya.
Yeah, hi. Listen, I think that's awful what you're saying.
Why?
Well, for one, apart from anything else, over the years, we, as the English people, have spent our time taking from Indians and Africans. We've used them, we've abused them, and now we're paying them back. We're giving everybody a home. I don't think you can actually say people can't live here.
Well, it's just the way I feel, isn't it? I don't agree.
You're saying that people don't work well enough, or they work when they own a shop. I mean, you should know Indian shops are wonderful. They last. If you want to get something, you can get it any time you want to.
Well, they're just money grabbing, aren't they? Really?
Well, they're not. They're working hard for it. They're not money grabbing. We're lazy. The English are generally lazy. Well, not all the way, but a lot of people are. You've gone quiet.
Yes, your argument's starting to sound a bit lazy, Tracy. Are you sure you're not lazy?
No, I'm not lazy, no.
And you put a lot of thought into your views, haven't you?
Me, yeah.
Yes, and a good deal of research and work. So your ideas are quite well documented.
Yeah.
But you don't like black people?
No.
No. Or brown people?
No.
Yellow?
Well, there's no yellow people, is there?
Well, sort of yellowish, aren't they, in your world?
No.
No? What colour do you call Chinese people, then?
Well, they're foreigners, aren't they?
Oh,
So-
just foreigners.
You said all foreigners. Does that mean that you're also going to stop the white foreigners that have come here? Where do you actually put the line and say, right, your parents were Jewish or your parents were Polish, so therefore you're a foreigner? I mean, how do you actually draw the line? Where do we go back?
If anyone is in this country who is not English, who is not born in England, then they should go back to their own country.
If you can't draw that line, it just doesn't work that way. During the war, we had a lot of people we invited over here. We helped them. So what are you doing, sending all them back?
That's the government then. The government are traitors to our country. They are traitors.
Well, also the amount of traitors, there were an awful lot of English traitors who died with us then. If they were traitors, then we've got English traitors. That's what the whole of this is all about. There's been an awful lot of traitors who all died then, didn't they? Because they were also helping these people.
Well, they shouldn't have been.
So you're saying we shouldn't have gone to war in the first place?
Me?
We shouldn't have had that last war?
Not really, no.
Oh, wow.
Great, isn't it, Steph?
I know, I'm just thinking, now what do I say?
You're enjoying yourself too, Tracy?
Yes, I am,
Fantastic,
yeah.
isn't it? Free speech.
It's wonderful.
You're able to talk a right load of old rubbish, no matter how unpleasant it is to other people. Is it unpleasant to other people to hear what you're saying, Tracy, if it refers to them?
Well, I hope it is, yeah, because it'll make them think, then they'll think, yeah, I'll go back to my own country now then.
They will, won't they? They'll do
Yeah.
that. I bet everybody who's from another country is listening to you is on the phone to Pan Am right now.
Oh, yeah.
Whoosh. Aren't they? Hey?
Well, I hope so, yeah.
Yeah, well, they are. You said they would be, wouldn't you?
Mm.
Because one thing that's not going to happen is that they're not going to just feel angry and unpleasant. They're going to act, aren't they, on your words? That's the power of speech, isn't it, Tracy?
It is,
You
yeah.
tell somebody to go home, and what do?
Well, they'll stay, won't they?
Oh, right. Hang on, we could be onto something here. So you told them to go home, but instead of going home, they stay here.
No, because they don't want to leave England, do they?
No, but you've told them to go home, haven't you?
Well, if I was the government, I'd ship them all off, yeah.
But you're not, are you? Or are you?
So, no, there's
You're not
not
the
a lot to do
government.
about it.
Oh, you're not the government. No, just thinking this through, you see, Tracy. So you've told all these foreigners to go home, and you're free to do that, aren't you?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So you told them all to go home, but you don't think they will.
No,
Right?
they won't, will they?
No, they won't. Right. So what are we left with then?
Well, nothing really, are we?
You're hacked off because people didn't do as they were told, these foreigners.
No,
Is that right?
all I'm saying is I don't like them being in our country.
No, we know that. Shut up
So-
and just play the game. We're having a conversation here. You can't go back to wherever you want to go. If you want to lead me somewhere, you do that. I'll play your game, all right?
Okay.
Right, so what we got is, what you know is, for sure, you say this, people don't do as they're told, which is go home. You're hacked off with them now, because they haven't done as they're told, and you didn't like them in the first place. And they're hacked off with you, because you've been unkind about them. So what have we got?
I don't know, really.
What do you suppose we've got? What sort of an atmosphere have we got?
Well, it'd be a very tense atmosphere, wouldn't it?
A bit worse than before you opened your mouth.
Yeah.
Aha!
Mm.
Aha! Is that a problem?
Well, not for me, it isn't, no.
No, it is for me then.
Maybe, yeah.
Oh, thanks. Is that all right? Is that okay then?
Yeah, it's fine.
You don't mind creating problems for everybody else?
No.
Why not?
Well, as long as it's not my problem, I'm not bothered.
So you don't mind if the whole country's at each other's throats? As long as it doesn't bother you? In Crazy Bottom or wherever you live. Is that it?
Mm.
Well, you're a lot good, aren't you? What good are you?
I'm not a very nice person, really, though, am I?
Oh, blimey, Stephanie, do you want to take over?
I'm fully agreeing. She's not a very nice person. I haven't disagreed with what she said. She's not a very nice person. I just cannot believe it. You know, how can you live with yourself like that? If you don't like other people. When you talk to somebody in the street, how can you be sure that they haven't got, say, Polish or German or French behind in their history? That means that they're foreign. That would be awful, wouldn't it? You're actually speaking to someone who's foreign. How can you live like that?
Well, listen, Steph and Trace. Steph, I better make way because one or two other people want to word with Tracy.
Okay, yeah, sure.
It should probably be as much fun as listening to you having a chat with her.
I know, fine. Okay.
Thank you for that.
Bye, Tommy.
Tracy,
Yeah.
you know what you're saying?
Yeah.
What you're actually saying, you're actually using free speech to say something other than what you're saying, because you're not very happy, are you? Not really.
Not really, no.
No. And sometimes when we're not happy, we say something, angry, just to design to make other people a bit sort of browned off, if I can put it like that.
Yeah.
What are you not very happy about?
I don't know.
Just feel a bit sort of angry.
Mhm.
Have you felt like that a long time?
No. No.
Since when?
You're trying to get behind the problem now. You're trying to get the bottom of the problem now, aren't you?
Yeah. That's all right, isn't it? If there's a problem, it's worth solving. When your car breaks down, you don't clean out the ashtray and try it again. You check the spark plugs, don't you?
I don't know because I don't drive.
So what are you cross about? Come on, what happened?
Suppose in a way, the way I feel about black people being in our country, it's probably what a friend of mine's put his views and forced his views onto me, and it's probably had an effect over about 10 years or so. And he's always saying that probably the children that are growing up at the moment in the schools, that they are being forced to accept that black people are a part of our country and we should be friends with them and everything. But my friend is always saying to me, the government is a traitor to our country, and it shouldn't be allowed that blacks shouldn't be in our country.
This friend of yours?
Yes.
Right.
Suppose I'm in a... I know I'm not... what I've just said is, I don't know if I've just said it on impulse. It's not very nice of me to say all this, especially on radio, but I don't know why I came on the radio to say it, really. Because to be quite honest, I have got a friend who is black, and I am actually good friends with her, and I feel guilty now of saying what I've said.
Well, I suppose to tie this up, Tracy. Who's that? Who's there with a little cough?
It was just my little girl.
How old is she?
She's 4.
She's 4.
But you're not going to bring her into this?
No, just heard her cough, that's all.
Okay.
Just chatting. If we could tie this up anyway, Tracy, all we could say is that because you're allowed to say things, we were allowed to talk about them, and somehow in talking about them, you and I have both found some other things to think about, and so probably have people listening to you.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, quite a few other people want a word with you. Do you mind, or are you sort of talked out?
No.
Well,
He will.
he will. And you got sockets to come and stairs?
Oh, well, we live in a flat, so we're not too bad for stairs.
What floor are you on?
Well, top.
Got a balcony?
Yeah.
Oh. Got a car?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it's the videos on the bottom shelf of our cabinet, and the
Yeah.
tapes and the CDs, and
Yes.
I had a year-old boy round here about a month ago, and he was crawling around picking everything up, and I've realised that everything's got to move now, and it's just...
And let me tell you, for the rest of your life, when you're boiling potatoes, even when the children are grown up, you'll still face the handle towards the wall.
Oh, and the iron.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
iron.
He's only 4 weeks old and he can't crawl, and he's in the Moses basket, but I make sure it's completely over the other side of the room so the iron doesn't go anywhere near him. It's
The point we're kind of making here, Claire, is whatever we say, we'll go on doing it. Because there are good reasons why we do it.
Oh, I wouldn't be without him.
What? No. What I find comforting, though, is to discover that we're pretty much all the same in so many...
And I think I'm the only one who's going through it.
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
Yes. Sleeping through?
No.
No.
No. About 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm up feeding him.
You don't sound too bad on it.
Not too bad. My husband gets up early for work, so I'm used to him getting up, going out early. So the early mornings aren't too bad.
All right. Well, look after yourself. You make sure you get that odd afternoon nap.
I will do.
Yeah.
Thanks.
See ya.
Bye.
Steve calls from Peterborough. You're on Talk Radio, Steve.
Tommy.
Steve, boy.
Yeah, how you going?
I'm all right.
Good.
You?
Yeah, 20 months into parenthood, I'm a nervous wreck, mate.
There you go.
I've got another one due. Well, we've got another one due in February. Video recorders, babies don't mix.
Well, what's your particular nightmare at the moment? 20 months?
20 months?
Yes.
My particular nightmare at the moment is the coming of the new one in February, mate.
Yes, understood. That's fair enough.
Yeah, the video recorder, chewed up my favourite tape, got the bloke out, opened it up, 3 digestive biscuits,
Yes.
1 Jaffa cake and a plastic spoon.
Yeah. Who's calling from Leicester. Simon, are you there?
I am.
Simon, you're through to Tracy.
Hi, Tracy.
Hiya.
Hi. I'd just like to ask, once we've sent everybody back on the boats and the aeroplanes, and we've got all the shops back to ourselves, do we then invite all the 3rd and 4th generations back from, let's say, Australia and America and Canada, and refill it all up with, nice clean white people? Or do we just send everybody home and don't let anybody back in?
Just don't let anyone back in.
But they're English. The grandparents are English. They might live in America or Canada, but they're English, so we've got to bring them back.
Yeah.
Simon in Leicester, trying logic on Tracy. Let's see what Sue in Hampshire has to say. Sue, you're on Talk Radio.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
Well, I was just wondering, firstly, can I just ask how far she's going to go back? These people have got to really, be English, because obviously we had the Vikings and the Danes that came from Norway and Denmark very, very long time ago, before the Normans.
And then we went on, we've had the Huguenots and the Jews staying in our country who came across from Europe. Earlier than all that, we had the Celts coming over here, a lot of influence from the people in Brittany coming into Cornwall, and obviously the Welsh language is very much attuned to the French language, and that's just going back for a few people, you know. I mean, is she sort of worried about those people being here? And having said all that, obviously throughout the reign of people like Queen Victoria, we were going out to various countries and we had a wonderful empire, teaching people lots of things, using their skills, making ourselves a very rich nation. I'm a great supporter of Queen Victoria and lots of things she did. Some things weren't quite so good. But of course we've reaped the benefit of having all the people from those various nations now contributing to our culture. A lot of them having people who've come over here and having British passports. How are you now going to suddenly start sending those people back? That's what I'd really like to know. Where does she draw the line?
Oh, blimey, Tracy, eh? You're going to be put through it this afternoon. So where do you draw the line?
I don't know, really.
Doesn't know really.
Has she heard of Vikings and Danes and things like that coming from Denmark and Norway?
Yeah.
With the hats, with the horns on. I mean, you know, a lot of people over here are descended from them. We've got Viking names in some of our towns, and you know, we've got lots of Roman names. I mean, the Italian culture, you know, coming through the Roman line.
Right. Now, what you're doing now, Sue, is being cruel to Tracy.
I'm sorry, I really am, and I've got a terrible throat this afternoon.
Good.
And I wasn't going to talk to anybody, but I was getting so incensed, jumping up and down here.
I've got a point to make here. Tracy might have been unkind to black people, but now, Sue, you're being unkind to people who didn't do history at school.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't either. I didn't do history.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, all right. I didn't.
You're after her.
I didn't do it for GCSE.
You're on her case, and you're not trying to persuade her or soften her. You're trying to beat her.
Well, what are we all here for? You know, this is a talk channel, isn't it?
What's the difference between Tracy not liking black people and you not liking Tracy because she doesn't know as much as you?
No, I'm very sorry. And if Tracy was here in my kitchen now, I'd give her a cup of tea and I'd give her lots of articles to read and I'd explain to her all about the British Empire. I really would.
Why?
You know? But I don't think that is the great issue that's here. I think there's something else going on in Tracy's life at the moment.
True enough. Could be. Sue, thank you for your call. Free call 0500 10 53 89. You all right, Tracy? Are you all right? Tracy?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Oh, so where did you go?
I'm here.
I'm sort of on your side now, kid. Is that all right? Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You sure?
Yeah.
Can you carry on?
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen now is lots of people who think that they're better than you because you're a racist and they're not are going to be horrible to you. Right? And they can do that because we've got free speech. Is that all right? Do you mind? No. All right, who else wants to have a go at Tracy then and reduce her to tears because she's a racist? Why, it's Shirley from London. You're on Talk Radio, Shirley.
Yeah, hi, Tommy. I think the problem is everyone's coming through and trying to give Tracy a logical argument, and I think one of the points is racism and a lot of other isms are based on illogicalness. Your argument, Tracy, is so weak. You obviously have, you know, I'm interested to know how old you are, how much education you have. I'm interested to know whether you can count back 5 generations and your family are all from England and from nowhere else. I think Tommy touched on something. There is something else going on in your life, and what you're doing is you're looking at a more visible means of blaming somebody, something different, a different culture, someone who looks different, and that's all that's happening. You have let your friend brainwash you with his ill thought out comments, and you are accepting them. As soon as someone asks you a question, you can't answer it. What I suggest you do is you go back to school, or you go back to where you left it from your studies, you pick up some books. There are thousands. There is a bookshop called Dylan's that has millions of books. Go and get a couple, start on something easy and read it and use your own brain and make up your own mind. If at the end of all this you come to the same conclusion that you don't like black people and you don't like people who can't trace back their generation all English for like 10 centuries, then at least you'll be able to form a good argument as to why that is. And the other point I want to make is this. What you're saying in your argument is that black people should leave when the party's about to begin. We were brought here by this government when there was a labour shortage. And we were brought here into this cold country with mass racism. When my mother came here, they had signs up which said, no kids, no pets, and no blacks. We were on that class. And we have helped to build this country. And now when things are starting to build up and everything, you're saying we should go home. That's like someone coming to your house, helping you put up balloons, bake the cake, do everything, and then you say, hello, can you leave now? The party's about to begin. I was actually fairly amused when you first came on. People that have your ill thought out arguments. I'm just very amused by them. I'm not shocked by them. I'm amused. But actually, I feel quite sorry for you now, because I think that you have something terrible happening in your life right now, and you cannot look into yourself, and I don't know.
Shirley, thanks for your call. Pre-call 0500 10 53 89. Tracy, you still there?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Yeah. You stay right with us, Tracy. This is turning into an extremely interesting exercise in the value of free speech. About half an hour ago, Tracy came on the line. If you just joined at the radio, let me explain. Tracy came on. We were talking about free speech. Tracy wanted to say that foreign people should go home and was prepared to be upfront and say that she is a racist, which an awful lot of people found a very unpleasant thing to express. So what they've done is they've telephoned the radio station and they're begging an opportunity to be unpleasant back to Tracy and calling her ignorant and stupid and offering her pity for her appalling views. And Tracy is now very upset. I don't want to make anybody upset, but I do find it an interesting exercise in people's compassion, that people should care so much for minorities, and nobody's rung up who's at all concerned for Tracy. Because I am, aren't you? Now, listening? Free call 0500 10 53 89. Very interesting. I'm Tommy Boyd. This is Talk Radio. There is a good argument for listening.
Exeter and Torbay on 11:07 a.m. The conversation of the nation. 10:53, 10:89 a.m. Talk Radio.
Tracy in London. Are you still on the line?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Are you happy to continue?
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. That's your choice. People are phoning up and being horrible to you.
That's okay.
Is it?
They might change my mind anyway.
Is that what you want to happen? Or do you just like people talking to you? Even if they're not being very nice? That can happen.
Okay.
Right. Here's Jeff, who calls from Essex. Jeff, you're on Talk Radio. Hello.
Hello?
Jeff.
Yes, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't at one point after some examination from you, Tracy sort of say that maybe she didn't feel that way and she felt bad about it and that a friend had influenced her?
Yeah.
Well, surely isn't that the whole idea of free speech, the fact that somebody can come on feeling negative and feeling all that hate, and suddenly after debate and discussion and after thinking about it, they then realise that they're not actually right and they don't actually feel that way, and then good things come out of it. And surely isn't that what free speech is all about?
Are you changing your mind, Tracy, or are you just feeling bullied?
No, I don't feel bullied at all.
Do you think you're changing your mind?
Possibly,
Well,
I don't know.
Don't know about you, Jeff. She's made of braver stuff than me.
I wouldn't have done what she's done.
Which is which?
Speak so outrightly about things that maybe she feels so negative about, and by expressing such hatred. I was probably as shocked as a lot of people when she first came on, but you listen to it, and after the initial anger, you then probably feel a bit of pity, and then you think, well, let's be more constructive. Let's not just slag her off, so to speak, and put her down. Let's sort of deal with the issue, not actually be negative back, because does that actually make us any better than her? Surely we've got to be constructive and deal with the problem.
Whoops. Technical. Wise words, Jeff, and I'm proud you listen to this programme. Let's go to Mary, who's calling from South Wales. Mary, you're on Talk Radio, and Tracy's listening.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
I think you're being a bit hard on it. I think she's got a problem listening to the child in the background. I think she's got a little bit of a problem with that particular colour scheme. And I don't think you should carry on the conversation with her, to be honest.
She wants to.
No.
She wants to.
Yeah. But I think you're pushing her as well.
No, I'm not. No, I'm
you
not.
You are.
No, I keep asking her. She can go anytime she wants.
Yeah, but...
Do you want me to censor her? Cut her off? Get rid of her?
No.
Why?
No.
She doesn't want that.
Personally, I think the girl wants to hang up. But she's trying to prove to herself she wants to speak out to someone, and no one's given her a hand.
Well, but you've got no right to make that decision for her, and nor have I. She can do what she likes.
What people have said to her, and you've let them say to her, I think, I don't know, how old is this girl?
How old are you, Tracy?
I'm 23.
And you've had a hard life, love, with what you've got there? Has it been hard?
Well, who's going to say no, Mary? Who says they haven't had a hard life? You have.
No, I mean, is the girl a single girl? And you've got a child there?
Well, I know plenty of single mothers with children, obviously, who aren't racist.
No,
Mary.
hang on,
In fact, the majority of them aren't.
Tommy. Yeah, a lot of us go into
Where are you
it.
going?
No.
You have a hard
I
life, so you
think
become a
you're
racist?
being this is inexperienced little girl, I think you're she might be 23, but in mind she's not. I'm sorry.
Oh, charming.
And I think you're being a little bit over the top. I'm sorry, but I listen to you every day, and I think you're going a little bit out of control today with this girl. This girl's going to get into trouble when this programme's gone down.
From who?
Her mind.
Her mind?
Her mind.
She wasn't in trouble before when she thought that all black people should be shipped out of the country. That was all right.
She may have been thinking that, because we don't know the background of it. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah, fine. Tracy?
Yeah?
Are you a worse person or a better person for the last 45 minutes of your life?
I don't know, Tommy.
You don't know? No. Do you want to hang up?
No.
No, fine, okay. Stay with us then. The next caller is, because we live in a country which cherishes free speech. Ibrahim calls from Surrey. Ibrahim, you're on Talk Radio.
Hi,
Hello.
Tracy. First thing I must say, I do agree with you. In your entire statement, it sounds strange coming from myself as a black man. And I admire your honesty. That's why I said I agree with you. A lot of people walk around with prejudices in their heart and in their minds, but they don't speak them. More English than anything else. They hold them inside it. So I respect you for what you've come out and said today to us as black people on the whole, to let us know exactly what some of you are holding within your hearts, you know. So I agree with you. You know, speak up, speak your mind. We as black people now should take what you say, don't get angry about it, but think about it as food for thought. What are the rest of the community thinking?
Do you want to talk to Ibrahim, Tracy?
I don't even know what to say.
I mean, I'd like to hear some of the other people, some of the English ones. Now come out with the truth. You come out with the truth now that we're speaking.
What do you mean the truth?
Come out and say how you feel, you know. Do you?
Why do that? Why do that?
Eh?
Why do that?
Why do it so that, the only time you hear how I think other Europeans feel about blacks is when they've had a drink at Christmas time. All black people are all right. Now today nobody's drinking. Come out and speak.
So Tracy sounds as though she's drunk to you?
No. She's not drunk. She's speaking on a sober. She's sober. She's speaking how she feels.
But you think people express themselves better when they're drunk?
I think that we only hear the true expressions of people, and that's when they've had a drink or how they feel about other cultures within this country.
So people only talk the truth when they're intoxicated?
Racist or beliefs, culture, they only talk about how they feel about certain cultures.
So why can't they say that when they're in control of their faculties?
I don't know, you know why?
Well, let's think about it, shall we? Why do people keep some things to themselves when they're in control?
Afraid of offending other people, you know?
Yes, is that such a bad thing?
Not really. I was standing at the bus stop and this old man said to me, you know something? If the government in the 1960s had given black people, say, £1,000 or £2,000 and send them back where they come from, we wouldn't have these problems today. I had to stop and think what he was saying. Maybe he's right. We take the money and we go back home.
Yeah, maybe he is right.
I hear. Maybe he is right.
Yes, well, but maybe he's right, maybe he's wrong. But how did you feel when he told you that?
I respected him for his deep honesty, you know? We wouldn't have to stand and listen.
But what's he actually saying? What he's saying is he doesn't want you at the bus stop next to him, does he?
Not really. I think he's got a lot of problems.
Well, couldn't you see that you felt offended by what he said?
Oh, no, did I say I was offended?
No, that's my point. You didn't say it, but you were. How can anybody not be offended to discover that somebody doesn't want to stand next to them?
How can you be offended when somebody's speaking the truth?
How can you be offended when somebody's speaking the truth?
Yeah.
Abraham, it's a tremendous...
What?
It is a tremendous piece of egocentricity to believe that anybody knows any truth at all.
You think so?
I'm certain
Well,
of
I
that.
tell you something, when it comes to culture and the way how other people, you know what I hate most is when people, they've got a perception about another culture and they hold it within them. They're the ones that I don't respect and they're the ones that I don't like. The ones who come out and say, you know something? This is how I really feel about you, and you. I shake the hand and say, at least I respect you for your honesty. The cowards are the one who keep it inside of them, you see. You know,
So you don't mind if people make you feel bad because they're being honest?
Man, I don't mind if people speak their true feelings, you know. Maybe if you go to another country, they say we don't want white people here neither.
Yeah, I can understand that. I honestly think that ends in rivers of blood.
Not all the time. I think we open an interesting debate, you know, because we need to find out why.
No, listen, you can find yourself with somebody for the first time, and you make some assumptions about them from what they look like.
Right.
And you also try to get to know them. Now, there's two sorts of people.
Right.
People who look for things that they have in common with the other person, and people who look for differences between themselves and that person.
Right.
It is my hope as a father of children that the world belongs to those who look for the things that people have in common and conceal, in the hope that by veiling they will kill off, allow to die their prejudices and irrational dislikes that they harbour for whatever reason.
That will never...
For other people.
I understand and I agree with you, but I tell you something that will never happen.
It will.
It
will. It definitely will.
Give me one point before we both go how you think it will, and I will tell you how it won't.
Sorry? No, it will happen. I'll tell you why it'll happen, because any study of history will show you that, will demonstrate to you that humanity is slowly improving. And you and I are agreed that the world will be a better place if old men didn't turn to young black men and say that you lot should have been put on a banana boat 30 years ago.
Well, look at a young lady, she's 23.
And for you to come out and say that you respected
that... She's 23, she's saying the same thing.
I'm talking about you.
Yeah.
For you to come out and say that you respect that
Her honesty.
But they're not being honest. They're just being unkind to you.
Well, even if she's being unkind, she's being honest. You know, I'd rather her, the ones that come out and speak openly, than the ones the bigots who stand in their living room.
All right. Well, listen. In that case, then I risk your disrespect.
Oh, no problem.
Because that's for me to decide. Okay. I'll take your disrespect. Because when I meet you, I will look for the things about you that I like, and if that's your definition of dishonest, you are talking to a very dishonest broadcaster.
No problem.
Oh, thank you. Talk to you again.
Take care.
Tracy, how you doing?
I'm fine.
Talk to you again sometime.
Okay.
Thanks for coming to the phone.
Alright.
Bye. Stand by for Peter Dealey. I look forward to talking with you at 2 tomorrow. This is Talk Radio.
Don't forget to subscribe and like. Comment too if you wish. Even slap your legs and make a purchase from Ann Summers. But don't do nothing.